live.
Go live. You'll
It
have to
says
watch to see if Mario shows up.
I will be. I've got everything right in front of me. It's a little awkward for me, but I've got everything right in front of me, so I'm good. And even have my face showing. Oops,
I don't know
did
if you
that
can see
wrong.
mine.
Yeah, I can a little bit every
Okay.
now and then.
I've got I've got it too high. I've got a mirror, oops, that I use. I can hold it up and see what's on my phone if I angle it right. God, that's like looking through three periscopes in tandem.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, it is. Mine. I've got a fairly good work area here in terms of like being able to see what I'm doing, or people being able to see what I'm doing. There's my reader glasses.
So have you how have you fared with the uh
The cold.
cold? Yeah,
The
sorry.
cold is, I mean, it's a record low tonight, according to something I just
I think
watched.
I think it's been a record low the past 3 nights.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, we've had
it's been cold, and I have been getting a little cabin fever because I decided not to get out at all while it was icy.
well, that makes
Decided
sense.
just too dumb and risky
Man,
to get out.
why risk it? I mean, God,
Hmm.
if you had car trouble, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it'd
Uh,
be it's the kind of stuff that kills you to get out in it like this.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely. It can. I mean, I'll
I mean, just from heart attacks or whatever, you know.
yeah. Oh gosh, and our room at work, God, they keep it so cold, and that we've got a digital thermostat that they control somewhere. I told
Hmm.
somebody it's like working in a freaking Dickens novel. It's ridiculous how cold. Dude, my feet are numb.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's my biggest challenge to my hygiene around here. How cold my feet get while I when I'm taking a shower. It's like
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine.
it's kind of hard to talk yourself into a nice little. Even if you got hot water
You don't
flowing
have
over
hot.
you, if your
You don't
feet
have
are
hot
cold,
water. You don't have
yeah.
hot water, right? Still.
I don't have hot water, but I heat water up and
Oh.
you use a what's called a camp shower.
Oh yeah.
And so it's hot water, but my feet aren't hot.
No, I'm
So
struggling with my mirror. Oh well.
yeah, I've got my
Anyway.
yeah. It's hard to find the perfect placement. I've got it's a really funny setup. Someday I will. I tried to get on Streamline with my iPhone, and I just didn't feel like solving everything. So I still don't have great camera work on cameras and what
Uh,
I'm up to.
I used to I have a book of who John Berkey is, the illustrator.
Oh yeah.
He had this. I think it was him that I remember. It's been a while since I saw this. In one of the books that I read of his, he had this deal where he had a mirror above his table, or no, it must have been the opposite. It must have been in front of him that angled in a mirror above him. And
Uh
so
huh.
when he was painting, he could look up and it would show him what the whole thing looked like, the whole painting looked like from like, he said like 6 foot away or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
I always thought that was really cool.
And of course, a guy that can paint like old Berkey. Berkey is the guy that he was on just a ton of, and I think he did the Dino De Laurentiis King Kong.
Yep.
I think that was him.
Yep. He did the famous King Kong poster.
Yeah, where
He did it.
he's standing on the two twin towers,
Yep. Yep. And
stride them.
I got a book of his, and he has this eye for detail that is not
Hmm.
detail.
Yeah,
It's,
there you get close to it, and it's like, it's kind of just a big shape.
yeah,
My brain is making it into detail. Yeah.
right. I don't know what this is. This is a bunch of lines.
Mhm.
Um. Oh, changing the subject, I am now
Mhm.
monetized on YouTube.
Whoa!
Well,
Excellent.
here it's the first step.
Uh
The
huh.
first step is I can get super chats, which is
Excellent. Well, yeah, yeah. If I could find enough people felt sorry for me, I could have a lot of money quick. Yep.
Anyway, it's been a. I think there's one more thing I need to fill out. I'm having trouble. There's a lot. You have even when you qualify, you have to fill out this thing.
Yeah, you gotta.
And they check it. I mean, it's not just like, oh, I got the numbers, I'm good.
Yeah, let me press the money button.
No,
start.
I don't think the money button's officially been pressed for me, to be honest.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
Yeah, that's one of those things that if I really ever get close to it, I probably owe myself a little brainstorm session with old Doug TeNapel, because he is going great guns. He's got 2 little channels going, and as far as I can tell, he's probably making money off both of them.
Oh yeah, not surprising with TeNapel.
No, and plus his consistency. That's the deal. See, if you look at the guys that make it, that you can just point to, they don't care if YouTube demonetizes them or whatever. They just keep plugging away, and they just know that YouTube is the only way to truly, get the money. So that's where they're at, and they're going to make their content on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
And you YouTube people that take my money away randomly, well, the hell with you. Yeah, and I'm going to labor as long as it takes, and we'll make money every other video then.
Right.
If you hate me that badly.
Well,
whatever.
here's the thing. They can, I mean, not about the monetization necessarily or the demonetization, but what I've learned is if you put content up, if you put enough content up, people will watch it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's just like I watched an hour and a half of Scott Adams just now, and it was just to have it on the background, listen to him yammer about stuff that I semi agree with him every now and then.
Oops, lost the mirror.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Well, didn't break, did it?
No. Thank goodness. I can't use the bad luck.
Yeah, right. Not now, huh?
Not now. Yeah.
Hey, how'd that tire fixing go?
Oh, that went very well. I got up early Saturday, and I went outside and I filled it with air, and I checked it before I left. I overfilled it a little bit. I checked it about 30 minutes later before I left, and it only lost I don't think it lost anything actually. I thought, well, I've got enough to get me there. I had 33 pounds in it, which is what the others had. And so I left, went down there and got there, and like I predicted, they could not fix it, but I had a warranty on the tire, so it only cost me $44.
No, not too bad considering what it could be.
Yeah. Well, I was, sometimes, I don't know if this happened to you, you'll go in and you need a tire, and they'll go, well, we can't put one tire on here.
Yeah, no, that happens.
And we were not at that phase, which I was looking at her tires, and they have plenty of tread on them, so that would have surprised me. But I got that done, and it took about an hour and a half. Saturday was just a real busy day. I met with the video people. Oh, and I was frustrated because they told me, well, the main guy was there. There were 3 other people there, and so the guy that does the videos said we need this video, and so I kind of hem and hawed, and finally, like Sunday night, I sat down and did very very elaborate prompts for what we need.
You writing prompts now?
Yes.
Wow, cool, groovy. That's good education.
And I sent it. Well, then I got this through to the other 3 guys. Well, then the main guy goes, we had a good script. Why did you not use that? And I was like, well, why did you need me if you got a good? It's really bizarre, but oh, I don't. Basically, the one that he liked had him in it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and so it was like, well, this is what the main guy wants, and I'm like, well, anyway. So they said, well, we need to combine, but then everybody's like, oh, but we like what you did, because what he had was all text. It was all dialogue for himself to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, we can combine it. So I cut and paste. I spent an hour, I guess Monday night, cutting and pasting it, and hadn't heard anything from him. So it's just enough of an aggravation to go, God, I should quit this. If there was not the lure of a really good
Yeah,
paycheck,
being on a big deal, ground
yeah,
floor. Yep.
yeah. So I need to tell myself, banish that thought.
I was just listening to a thing about Christopher Nolan doing the what do you call it, the Odyssey or whatever, the thing with the Cyclops that they put the eye out and all that. That's called the Odyssey, isn't it? I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Christopher Nolan did it.
He's going to be doing it. It's in
Oh,
production.
okay.
It's just going to be his first stab at. Well, I think all of his films have been fantasy films, but this short said this is his first fantasy film. No, they've all been fantasy films. Yeah, he did Batman, didn't he? What are they talking about? His first
he
fantasy
did Batman.
film.
Well,
Interstellar. I guess some of them you could call them science fiction, maybe, or something like that.
What was the one with the Tenet? Tenet was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you're calling that sort of stuff science fiction, I guess.
Yeah. Well, people were getting shot, but not with bows and arrows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's doing the Odyssey. That's funny. Somebody was talking about the Odyssey, and I was like, I think I got a copy of that. And I pulled it out. I was like, I should read this, and I made it through about half a page. I was like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah. Too antiquated or whatever.
Oh yeah, and it's like, what would I get out of reading this? I'd be better off reading the summary. Surely I think Droulet did a comic book adaptation. I'll read that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movies and stuff. I've seen the Kirk Douglas. It's kind of hard to find. I think Dino De Laurentiis may have been involved in it in some way or other, but long ago, back in the '60s, Kirk played Ulysses, or not Ulysses. What's his name?
Captain Kirk or Kirk Douglas?
Kirk Douglas.
Oh, okay.
And he played what's his name? The main guy that's involved in the Odyssey. That
Homer. No, he's a writer.
No, he comes back and his wife is having to deal with all the suitors.
Ulysses.
Yeah, Ulysses, and of course the other guy is making that too. I don't know. All of a sudden it just explodes. There's just this zeitgeist that goes on. That other really good actor, he got himself just totally ripped down to just muscle and bone. And, ordinarily he's just this guy you don't think of as being a muscle guy. Oh, what's his name?
Matt Damon.
No. He's the guy that, did you ever see the show called Menu? About the crazy chef, and everybody is lining up to go to this special resort where he makes food, but he's basically ambushing this particular crowd he's got coming. He plans to kill them all.
Hey, check for Mario.
Okay, he's not there.
Okay.
No, that's good. I'm glad you said that. Say that every now and then.
I will do. I'll keep you on the level.
Yeah, Mario, he wanted to talk yesterday, and so I when I finally checked my email, it's like, want to talk now? It's like, what is now? And I checked, and it was an hour ago, and so I say, well, we can talk. I can set up right now if you want, and send an email back, and of course, whatever is going on in his life keeps him from replying. So nothing happened there, but he's sending me notes back and forth. on this or that, and it's like, okay, that old problem, communication. But it's what he's paying me for. I just like I just continue on and take a note and send it back and do whatever.
Yeah,
I'm doing color right now. He's approved most of these colors I'm whipping out.
That's awesome.
We're at a point where all the line art is done. That's what he was reacting to most recently was the cover I did for him.
Oh yeah,
and I could share that. I'll show it. But he had a lot of changes he wanted to make in it, or I'm gathering he wanted a lot of changes in it. So I gotta have that confab, that meeting of the minds.
Well, that's it could be worse.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Mario is easy to work with, comparatively speaking.
Yes.
He's another creative, so he's going to have his own notion, and plus it's his baby, you know.
Oh yeah, he's had this project for a long time.
So what I'm doing is
he has an interest in it for sure.
Yes, yeah.
It's
that reminds me of that Barton Fink movie. It's this when Steve is it Shalhoub? Oh, pardon me. Shalhoub gets so mad at Barton Fink. He goes, "Jack's taking an interest." He's just spitting mad at him. He says, "You don't want Jack to take an interest." You know, the producer. Have you ever seen?
I've
just talking to myself.
No. I've seen it, but it's been forever, and I don't recall much about it, to be honest.
Oh, the Shalhoub part just cracks me up because he is the perfect portrait of the guy where all of the pressure and stress falls on him. He's the guy who has to be the guy that talks to this crazy caricature of Jack Warner that is of course the god in the studio, and he has to pass everything along to him and just basically not treat him like an idiot, even though he thinks he's an idiot. And at one point he jumps up on his desk. He puts his knee on it like he's coming clean across the desk after Barton. It's like one of my favorite scenes ever. It's like he just ready to beat the hell out of him right there.
Mm-hmm. It's about a writer, correct?
Yes. It's about it was, I forget which is which. They wrote one of them because they got writer's block. They did Miller's Crossing and Barton Fink almost simultaneously, and I love both those movies. And one of them, they took a break and wrote the other, and I'm not sure which it is that is the result of writer's block.
Well, I'd want to think Barton's Fink because that's kind of the point of it, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? I bet you $1 it is. And the other one is a remake of The Glass Key by
Dashiell Hammett.
Dashiell Hammett, yeah, or not a remake, a reimagining, but it's basically got pretty much the same story. Got a guy that has to fox everybody.
Gotcha.
Yep. That particular kind of story is always very satisfying. What's funny is, the actor that played in Miller's Crossing, he's our hero, and yet anytime there's any sort of violence, he's just a total punching bag. I don't think he gets a shot in at any point where it's like, Oh yeah, he hits somebody with a chair and breaks their nose, but all they do is hold their nose and say, "Why'd you do that, Tom?" You know, so it wasn't particularly a big effect.
No physicality about him.
Yeah. He's not the most physical guy in the world,
Hmm.
but he's a great ally of the Albert Finney's character. In fact, you couldn't ask for a better friend. Oh, there we go. This thinking process. Oh, I better look. No Mario.
Okay. Because I always cringe when I go like, "Oh gosh, how long has he been waiting?"
No, no. Yeah, did it seem like he was kind of like a little put off like the last time we did it to him? I don't
No,
know.
I don't think so. I don't. But in my mind, I always think that I don't want,
Yeah, you don't want to do it to a guy.
No,
Keep him backstage.
I just know that when I've been knocked off and tried to get back on, and that's
Oh yeah.
the first thing. It's like add me, because a lot of times you're like, oh yeah, I lost Scott.
Well, yeah. I've had many times where it's like, hey, does Scott just all of a sudden decide he likes the sound of my voice or what? Then I'll look up and he won't be there, and it's like, okay, now I get it.
Got a phone call.
Yeah. I watched all of season 6 of The Office. So you just are intermittent about that show. You haven't seen that many of them.
I've probably seen a lot of them, but I've never watched it in sequence.
Oh, okay, yeah.
God, it seems like every time Michelle and I travel somewhere, it plays on like Comedy Central, like at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
It just has a huge fan base, I guess, and it's like I totally missed out on it, and but I get it now. It's a very funny little show.
It's so my brother really likes it, and it's I don't know. There are very few shows that I'm like, man, I could watch forever.
Well, I'm the same way. I'm kind of tired of The Office right now, and I've got three more seasons to go through, supposedly. I'll get around to them. Right now, there's a guy that I saw on the blooper reels in an Office blooper reel, and I said, who is this weirdo? He's funny. And I looked him up, and he did this series. And then when I was sold, it said Mike Judge series called Silicon Valley.
Oh, that's on Max. Oh God, my head's in the way. That's on Max. Is it good? Have you watched it?
It's pretty funny. When I saw it was Mike Judge, I said, okay.
I'm watching.
And I've decided, yeah.
You were sold.
Oh yeah. And then the guy that's in it is funny too. He's a real tall, skinny dude. Oops, that didn't work. But I decided that Judge's strength, of course, is just beautiful characters. I mean, not necessarily beautiful.
Not beautiful,
but he just is so good at character. And these guys, think about all the characters he's assembled before that, the Idiocracy, Beavis and Butthead, and Office Space, and King of the Hill, but at the same time you get the Mike Judge effect. It's like, he kind of repeats himself, doesn't he? This is the idiot that does this or that, and this is the kind of idiot that does this or that, and you can see the guys that are, some sort of iconoclast that's ready to fight over his beliefs. And then there'll be, even though he's a complete idiot. And sorry, that worked, kind of. Bringing color. it takes me. I always thought that this color would go super fast, but it's a part of my brain that I really don't work quickly.
Coloring.
Yeah, coloring.
Well, I hate to
Cause
spill the
for
beans, but aren't you colorblind?
oh yeah, I'm red green colorblind, and I told Mario that. Mario just wants to see this done and wants me to do it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
I'm glad that Mario has popped back into my life, and I'm glad that because I've always thought you reminded me of him in some ways.
Sure, we're the same vintage, kind of,
Yeah, kind of.
and
Yeah,
he's a couple of milliseconds older than me.
yeah. I mean, you're not like twins or anything, but just,
Mm-mm.
but I mean, I think that you guys hit the same kind of creative uh,
Yeah,
benchmarks or whatever.
we came out of the same mix. We were being impressed by the same comic artists at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's cool because I always regretted that we never got our comic really, very far, and you know,
hmm
you hate to I hate to end stuff on a kind of this unfinished. I mean, if we don't get it done, that's one thing, but if it's just kind of this awkward, unfinished thing, that's always, you know, not ideal.
Well, it's like the yeah. This thing is like the only way this is officially finished is if you can hold it in your hands, or at least hold it in your hands in your iPad. You know, it may never be anything but a Kindle read, but I'll look beyond that in terms of like trying to find a format for pay on demand, which is with Amazon ought to be simple enough.
Yeah.
It may be challenging with the particular ratio, but it's one of their standard ratios. That's we're using something we know will make a good Kindle.
Oh, that's good.
hmm
That's good.
Oops.
Ron Lemon's latest video is about drawing hands.
Ah,
I think I need to watch it. I'm drawing this hand. I'm like, whoa, that's wonky looking.
I saw something about some very famous painter that had a really, for him, a very important commission. And he usually only kept his uh, subjects for, a couple of sessions.
Yeah.
And he had done he had all the information he had on this very important client that he needed to finish his portrait, but he didn't have his hands. So he used his own hands to model from.
Yeah.
Obviously that's what you do is you
Right.
don't have the source, and you can. And he had somebody that knew the this very important guy. Says, "Oh, it's very excellent, but you've given him a workman's hands." And it's
Oh,
like,
God.
so this very that's the first thing she noticed is that this very rich, important guy doesn't have hands like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a soft life.
Yep. I look at my hands and I go, good grief. I'm an artist. Why do my hands look like I worked in a mine or
Look like
something?
I'm milking cows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Complicated my life by doing that. Okay.
I just need to moisturize.
What, taking a drink?
No, my hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I need to make a discipline of that myself. Treat your skin like it's being damaged at every turn, because it is.
Yeah.
No Mario. Have you been watching any interesting stuff? I saw. The only reason I brought up Christopher Nolan and the Odyssey was the fact that they're going to have a huge puppet that they make um, the Cyclops of, and it made me think. I saw
Really?
they showed one concept art of a Cyclops. It was just all off. It's like the artist, yeah, maybe knew a little bit of. He did know anatomy, but wasn't. He didn't make the kind of leaps you make if you're going to draw something like a Cyclops. The facial anatomy.
The faces.
He didn't get how he was going to have to morph that skull, that bone around to make it look, good.
I've drawn Cyclopses in my sketchbook. A few, not a lot, but a few. Mm-hmm. And there's where the nose should be. You got to draw a eye hole.
Yeah, something has got to be going on, and and that does warp everything. I just think of it as just look at Harryhausen, how he did it, and you can't beat him.
Yeah, if you're gonna steal from the best.
Yep, because he got it.
Oh yeah, well, he was a savant.
Yep,
or something.
I forget how to do things. I would procreate every now and then.
Oh, I was like, what? Like shoes? What do I do with them?
Yeah.
Didn't know where you were going with that, Ellis.
Yeah. Trying to. Yeah. I'll just keep it in that mode. And I forgive myself for doing a bad job because talking and working in this mode, and plus I'm kind of sideways.
Yeah.
I had I got rid of all that sciatica pain, which is great.
Oh, did you? That's good.
Yeah, got rid of all that, and then all of a sudden I got a right knee. It's like, what did I do to my knee? It's all swelled up, kind of. Parts, and I think it might have something to do with the weather, why it popped and snapped a little bit.
Yeah, my shoulder's been bothering me, and I thought, God, I need to go get a massage. I was getting a massage for a while, but God, it's gotten so expensive, and that wouldn't be so bad. But I have other things I want to buy,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, my massage money has now become my gun money, so
Yeah. Have you been out to the range again lately?
No, we didn't shoot last week because it was too cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad weather.
I bet we don't go. So our instructor has said, did I tell you what we did last time we went to class?
What did you do?
About shooting the 4 targets?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I got to brag on myself.
Okay, do it.
So my wife and I are taking shooting training, and when I say shooting training, it is not. It's the guy that trains the highway patrol and stuff. This guy's the real deal,
legit.
And I've always said if I ever bought a gun, I would want to have training, and this is an excellent opportunity for us. So last time we went. Cold right off the bat, he said, I want you to load 4 bullets, and what I want you to do is go up here, rack the gun, get 4 bullets, set it on the barrel. About 30 foot in front of us was 4 iron silhouettes of figures that were painted white. Behind them was a red one. He wanted us to shoot, and there was something else in the way, another target. He wanted us to shoot as many times as we could within 5 seconds and hit the red target and not hit the white targets. In other words, shooting in a crowd. and so you go up there, you're going to be racked, ready to go, be sitting there on the barrel. There's a barrel sitting on the barrel. You pick it up and shoot it many times as you can. And he started you by shooting a gun off.
Mm-hmm.
And so
yeah, you're being shot at.
You're shot at, basically, or somebody was shooting at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it. There were 5 of us. 3 people missed everything. 1 person hit the guy twice. The guy probably the most shooting experience in the group. I hit it 3 times.
Wow.
And I hit it in the head all 3 times.
Damn.
He said my 4th one went over the top of his head. He said it was like my 2nd or 3rd. He said the first one got him like dead on.
Well, that's impressive.
The guy, you know what the guy told me?
What?
He had done that same. He had this all set up, and he had a group from the sheriff's office out there, and he said I shot better than anybody in that group. I go, oh my gosh.
Doggone.
So I'm dying to take my 9 out there and shoot it. I haven't shot my 9 yet, you know.
So you did all that hyper accurate shooting with a 22.
Yes.
Interesting.
I haven't.
It might make a difference. That recoil is going to be totally different.
Well, I shot my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law has a gun like mine, and I've shot it, and I was more accurate with it than I was at my 22. But I mean, that was just shooting a couple times at his house. I mean, I probably shot it a magazine's worth, 10 or 15 rounds. Anyway.
Yeah, that shooting skill is a good skill to develop.
Well, I've always said if I ever got a gun, I would want to be. I always said I'd go to the range enough to where I'd be good or decent, because if something happens, you got to be better than the guy shooting at you.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be a hazard to yourself with a gun.
Well, if you're gonna have a gun and you pull it out, the guy that's shooting is going to shoot at you.
Yeah.
You become the target. So I'm banking on, or I'm hoping that if something ever happens, I'm just better than the guy. Or girl, I guess. Probably guy, though. Yeah. Or what I'm really hoping is that nothing ever happens.
Oh, yeah. That's what you definitely want.
No, even if you're 100% in the right, it'll be life altering.
You don't want to sit around with some arterial spray cascading all over your linoleum in the kitchen.
Oh gosh!
Just because you shot somebody and you're in the right, who needs that?
No, the guy's like, first thing is you'll probably spend the night in jail. You'll probably,
They won't be able to sort it out until they sort it out.
Yeah. In fact, I have an article I need to read. My homework is to read this article called After the Gunfight or something like that. And it's from some highway patrol magazine or something. And it's like, what do you do? What happened? What can you expect after you're involved in something? Nothing good. I mean,
yeah.
But again, I go to what's the old saying? I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't regret, even if something were to happen, and I hope it doesn't. But in the meantime, it is fun to shoot. I enjoy shooting.
Oh, yeah. That's all you'll ever do with it. Old Hickok 45, I'm pretty sure, has never shot anybody.
My trainer shot people, but he was he's a
cop.
He was a cop, some sort. I mean, but it is fun. I enjoy shooting the gun. I'm getting used to carrying it, so it's like, I'm going with my brother to a thing next week in Tulsa, and I'm like, am I going to wear my gun? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, and I go, well, if he knew I had it, he might be annoyed, but,
Well, I think people, when they know a gun is around, they're never going to trust that you're securing of it. and you just got to get used to that idea. It was like, oh, don't worry about it or whatever.
Yeah.
You've got to
I've got this under
figure out
control.
like don't make a big deal out of it. Act like it is something that's just so what? I got a gun on me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wore it to church for the first time last week.
I could tell the time you were over. You were a little weren't you a little worried about the security of my little shotgun and all that? It's like
Where'd you had it someplace? I was like,
I was just up on the wall, and then I think I showed you the 22 revolver, didn't I? I'm not sure if I did.
I think you did.
But again, someone that you don't know starts saying, "Hey, have a look at this gun."
Well, my boss is kind of a gun guy, and I had to go to his office today. I thought, should I take my gun in there? It's like, probably not.
Yeah, you got to watch that in the workplace. Yeah.
Well, I told you the day I got it, I brought it to work and I showed it to the safety guy. And I was like, "Can I load my gun in your office?" He's like, "Sure, I'll help you." We filled up all 3 magazines.
They've got this wild scene in Mad Men, that old TV show.
Yeah.
Where a guy is actually, he brings in his little 22 squirrel gun and shows it off, and then actually points it at people.
Oh gosh.
I'm
not doing that.
It had a little scope on it, and it showed him sighting in on people. I wondered where they were going with it, because the classic story thing is like when you show a gun, you have to use it by the second act or whatever that cliche is. It's like
people will be like, "What's with the gun?"
Yeah, why did you show that gun? You hadn't shot anybody yet. And he never shoots anybody, but it just showed, I think all it was just trying to show is this was a crazy different time. And it is called Mad Men. And that was their Madison Avenue nickname for these guys that were working.
Have you read the book that's based off of?
Yes, I did. I think I read almost all of it. I'm pretty sure I did.
The library has an audio copy. I read the audio book.
Isn't that fun? All that craziness, man.
Oh yeah.
And that guy, he was totally crazy. Are we talking about the guy that said the quote about the Japanese or something like that? What is it about?
It's either Japanese or German. It's like they were pitching a car, and their line was from the folks that brought you World War II.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name of the book. From the folks that brought you World War II, I think is.
Yeah, that's close anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy's stories about that time. I mean, there'll never be another time like it in terms of like.
No, I don't think so. Certainly not in advertising.
Mm-mm.
And I think nowadays people are too.
Oh no.
Well, you never know the way things are going.
Don Draper's character is so fascinating to me. He's a guy that he's got all the classic desires of a man come easy to him, but he's trying to figure out what he wants, and he can't help his heart. He constantly is coming across women that he's basically fallen in love with.
Okay.
Even though he's got a wife that looks like Grace Kelly that loves him. And it's like, it's like, my God, this guy I thought was the smartest, greatest guy on earth, and he's an idiot. But
some guys are like that.
Yeah, that's the deal. He's looking for what the heart wants, and as much as everybody else thinks he's got it all figured out, he's having a hard time figuring it out.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Because doesn't he pretty much got everything?
Oh yeah, he's got it all in terms of like
material.
He's he's considered the guy. He's got respect, I guess, is the main thing he's got in a field that doesn't leave you much fairly often. It's like everybody, he's got a legendary level of respect from his fellow charlatans or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh gosh, I wish I'd thought of that at the time, but yeah, the library's got all of them. If you ever get the itch, check them out. What am I checking out of the library now? Oh, of course, that Silicon Valley, got it out.
Oh yeah,
which is cool because that's by HBO Productions, and they're only 28 minutes long.
Oh, are they?
And so it's 2 discs of only like 6 or 8 episodes. So that's great.
It didn't seem like it was super long from looking at it. I think I watched like half of the first episode and it didn't grip me, but I'll give it another shot if you think it's worth.
Oh, it's one of those things where it's like when characters make you cringe. I never have like Borat. I mean, to me, the entire experience of Borat is just a constant cringe, and I don't like that feeling, And there's a lot of comedy that's like that. The Office, of course, has got lots of cringe to it.
Yeah.
But eventually, they keep it short enough. They don't wallow in the cringe level. I feel like Borat just gets you there and just wallows in it,
Yeah. No. I'm not a Borat fan.
Yeah. What else did I saw something too I wanted to share with you on YouTube that was again on the tutorial thing. Oh, it's just a guy that he'd been drawing a long time and he had his Bridgman basics down basically, and he always started with boxes. And I always started with boxes. So, right away I've got a
little empathy with him.
Yeah, simpatico of that. But then he talks about how he evolved to the beanbag shape.
Oh yeah.
In terms of like starting, and I understand that, and I don't always just start with a box. I fairly often morph it around and make it a little more organic as I'm laying in a mannequin for creating. Tell you what, the
Steve Rude has had some mannequin stuff. He put one out the other night that he was showing his mannequins of Kirby. It was reminding me of you because he was showing his sketchbook and how he would take Kirby drawings and then break down the mannequin break it out of Kirby, which is like, okay, yeah, that's I did some of that with that Simon and Kirby stuff. I think it was Stuntman. Stuntman is good for that. I filled a page of my sketchbook with Kirby mannequin doodles, I guess you want to call it, for lack of a better word.
Good old Kirby. $49. Yeah, I'm not completely happy with my Triceratops colors.
Triceratops.
He's got a hot coffee in his back, and the kids are enjoying a hot cup of brew as they travel around with him.
That Mario and his wacky dinosaur puns.
Yeah. Well, he was thinking Dr. Seuss. Oh, another thing I saw on YouTube, all these things I see on YouTube.
Sure.
But I've seen how these this great director. Oh, now I got to think of him. He's a guy that you'd say, yeah, that guy knows what he's doing. His favorite action scene of all time was by Wallace and Gromit.
Oh, really?
The one with the wrong trousers were the evil penguin. Have you ever seen that one?
Oh yeah. Oh, is it on there when they're on the model train?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
He
that's
says
great.
that's the best action scene of all time. And it talked about how Pixar was very inspired by it when they did their own scene. Now I can't remember what it was, that the scene that was very derivative of
Oh,
the
really?
wrong trousers. Yeah, I can't think of it now.
What movie that was?
Oh, God. Well, I mentioned it right then, and I can't remember it now. But I just dug that because I knew, as a matter of fact, the guy that was so harsh on movies and especially animation, he didn't like animation at all. Rex Reed, I think that's his name. He said, "This is the best thing I've ever seen." You know, it just blew everybody away that time.
Right.
I think it won an Oscar.
Stop motion, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember.
Nick Park, Reg Park, something like that.
No, I think it's Nick Park.
Nick Park, yeah.
And Gromit was voiced by the guy from Last Summer Wine. You ever watch that show? Oh gosh, it's been on for 100 years in Britain. It's
I'll have to check it out.
It's called The Last of Summer Wine. It's this little town in England. These three old men are retired, and the cast kind of rotates because some of them leave, but there's always three, and there's two guys that are typically the main two, and they just walk around this town and get into trouble. They're broke. Oh, you'd love it. They're broke.
I bet I would.
They don't have cars. Sometimes they'll ride a bicycle, and the town is full of characters.
Sounds very PG Woodhouse. Yeah, I'd love it. Probably.
You would love it. They'll go. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Amazon has them. It's on maybe on Freevee.
What's it called again?
The Last of the Summer Wine.
Last of the Summer Wine. Okay.
And I'm not kidding. It's ran for like 20. It's one of the longest running shows in Britain.
Huh.
And like they'll go to the library, and they're in the and it's an older show, so nobody has cell phones or anything. But
yeah,
they're in the library, and like they'll get kicked out because one of the guys is smoking, or just something like that.
Yeah.
There's kind of the rotating location. There's a cafe that they go to, and the lady at the cafe is always throwing them out because they're they'll go in there and take off their boots, or they'll go in there and they'll be all wet because they fell in the creek or some. It's hilarious.
Yeah, everybody's always just reacting to the latest madcap stuff they've gotten up to, huh?
Yep.
It reminds me of W.C. Fields while he's sitting in the restaurant talking to the smart alecky waitress.
Oh, yeah. If you watch it, you gotta let me know what you think, because I will. I think you'll like it.
I do.
I want to watch some now.
Better write it down. Last of the Summer Wine, because the brain will not hang on to it.
No, unfortunately, our brains don't work that way anymore.
Not anymore. Used to anything you threw at my brain, it would cling to for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping I get to retire before I completely lose it all.
Yep.
My job's gonna be rough if I can't remember anything.
I yanked. Oh, the whole thing is falling apart. Oh boy, it's one of these. Nothing. I've got to abort. I'm losing my camera set up.
Oh yeah. Well, I got at least your desk is straight. My desk is at an angle. I have an excuse.
Yeah.
We're seeing the sky.
Yeah, I will do something here.
How we doing on time? I probably need to go.
We're about done. 54 minutes. Oh, wait a second. Mario just now showed up. You want to say hi and bye to Mario?
Yeah.
Let's add him. He's waving at me. I hope he hadn't been doing that forever.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hey,
I've only
Mario.
been here about 35 minutes.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I was checking on things, I think, every once in a while.
I've asked multiple times. Hey, is Mario here? Is Mario here?
I
Here's
don't
my.
have an excuse. I took a nap.
That's what I was trying to do, Mario. See that?
Terrible. Yes,
It's awful. It's awful. I've got to basically just treat it as.
I wouldn't say terrible, but I think you could. I know you're going to do better.
Yeah. I haven't got the. I was working at an angle, trying to share what I was up to and all that, and it's like, I can't work like that.
This isn't really the best. Well,
no, I can't talk while I'm trying to think.
That's work. Yeah, that's multitasking for me.
Yeah.
So Mario, how's it going?
Well, like we just said, one of my goals is to be able to walk and tie my shoelaces at the same time.
Yeah.
We were just talking about forgetfulness, Mario.
Have you heard about this show that Scott was telling me about called The Last of the Summer Wine, a British comedy?
No, except I heard you guys talking about it.
Mm-hmm. So you have been here for a minute then.
Yeah. Okay. And I wanted to say, Scott, thank you for inviting me back. I mean, just to begin with, inviting me to the thing, because this has been you say I inspired you, but you're inspiring me now. So,
oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm
and
glad.
Ellis is such a gracious host and knows how to work the crowd as well as the guests.
Yeah, I think about my talents on that level of being able to work the crowd all the time. I tell you what, it's the only talent you need in life is being able to read a crowd and read the room and do that sort of thing. But
half of it is showing up. What's the Woody Allen?
Showing up, yeah. That's the other thing.
Yep.
So I worked on that self-portraits, and then I worked on the table. Actually, I have made some progress on the table with miniatures. I have two Cthulhu creatures of chaos, and a mastodon, or actually what's the one? The Colombian mammoth. That's what it was modeled after from a painting someone did. It's coming out. Do
you think, Mario, in our lifetimes we will see a clone of a mammoth that that an elephant gives birth to a mammoth?
They could do that.
I think they could. Yeah. They've got the DNA, don't they?
Right. I bet if somebody hasn't already done it, experimented.
It would be. It seems like a quick way to make the saddest creature on Earth, but why not? I don't know. Why not do it? Thinking about the just right away, you think of loneliness.
The lack of.
Well, you can make two of them. You make a herd of them.
Yeah, sure. Get something started.
Maybe you only want one.
Yeah.
Just for safety's sake.
Oh, they're not that big. They have
you make the one, and then you realize, my God, they were the dominant species.
I was talking to Pat about that this week, about the Bronx Zoo, because I grew up half a block from the Bronx Zoo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The first 17 years. I was born in Oklahoma, but I went back. My mother took me back to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grew up in the Bronx. But I was a half a block from the Bronx Zoo.
Oh, wow.
My friend and I used to climb over the fence and play Tarzan in the woods.
Cool. As long as nobody doesn't think it's cool.
We never got caught. No. In fact, one time a little kid came up and we chased him with our not unsharpened spears. Because it seemed like the thing to do at the time.
That's what Tarzan would do.
Yep.
And I could hear lion roaring at night.
Oh,
which
wow.
is different. That's a little different unless you're in Africa.
It is cool. That is very cool.
Which would be normal there, right? In certain parts of Africa.
I remember I had a buddy running around in Arkansas where, we were basically Tarzans ourselves, and we cut cane and made the kind of throwing thing that the Aborigines used to get extra range, where you knock it on the
Gotta fling it.
and fling it. And man, we could throw that thing. Oh, it's amazing how much that little bit of mechanical advantage gives you. And you get good at the feel of it. You got to throw your stick up, and as it's poised, and you feel just the proper amount of tension going into your little knock stick, then you wang. It's just like anything, the coordination that has to occur before you throw a baseball. But
that's right.
It's like it was really cool to discover that. Wow, here I am, primitive man, learning this groovy trick. And it came about because this guy was kind of a little bit of a know-it-all. He was. People complained about him for being so smart. He was one of these guys. Here he was in darkest Arkansas, in these little bitty schools, and he was apparently some sort of prodigy. And so, he just absorbed everything he was reading. And he was like in a situation where he didn't have a neighbor for 5 miles around him, It raises different kids to be raised up like a farm kid or whatever. You get a little more. Your imagination goes a little wilder, I think.
I would prefer to being raised in the country,
mm-hmm.
and I gravitated towards the country after a brief stay in Los Angeles. I went there too, and lived there for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm in the country right now. I'm in Connecticut, but I'm up on a mountain,
mm-hmm. Close to a lake,
close to a lake, and
walking distance.
In the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't think of that with Connecticut, but I know.
And the town is called Burrville.
Burrville?
So how do you like that? And supposedly the population is 300, but that can't be right because there's like 400 units where I live.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's like town.
You're like they're finding out about Social Security, huh? Well, that can't be right. We don't have that many people in the country.
That could be. How far are you from New York City, Mario?
About 100 miles.
Oh, okay, so it's a pretty fair distance.
Yeah, I was still seeing a doctor when we moved here, so I went back and forth a few times. Pat went down a lot. She was down after a week. She was still working down there for a while when we moved up here.
Are you on the train? I assume there's a train that goes through your town, or
there is not a train that goes through town.
Oh, okay.
We have to drive. You can drive south to Waterbury, but they have a problem with cars being broken into, and it's a little.
Oh.
Yeah, I tell you.
It looks dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
It looks dangerous.
There is that sort of degradation.
I've had feedback on that.
Mm-hmm.
But drove over to where I used to live in Amenia, New York, Passaic, New York. Amenia means beautiful in the local Indian language.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
What kind of Indians?
That's a good question. I knew it. I've learned it. I actually studied the history when I moved in there. I became a
Pontotoc or something like that.
Yeah. I was a councilman for a short period. I left because they didn't pay enough. I couldn't live on what they were paying. So I got a job in New York City.
Yeah. Hey, before you got here, Scott was talking about he's paved the road for redoing all his work that he did for Heaven's Rejects.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I guess we maybe, that we went offline when we were talking about all that. So I guess you don't want to talk about that, do you, Scott?
Well, so I did Heaven's Rejects, which was the 4-issue comic that I did.
Right.
And it got put out. And the publisher has basically gone out of business. And I've talked to Ellis, and I have chatted briefly. Ellis is trying to convince me that I should put it out as a print on demand. One of the things, and I know we've talked about this, that I didn't like is there's a lot of profanity in it. So I've talked about, if I did it, I would want to edit it a little bit, or maybe a lot. And so the idea was that Ellis and I kind of have talked about for a while now, is that I would take out all the dialogue, and I'd re-dialogue it, maybe even rewrite the story a little bit, but use the existing art, and then do that as a print on demand.
I don't see any downsides to that at all.
No, but I was uncomfortable doing it without telling the writer what I was going to do. So I before I got on,
I would probably do that too.
I sent him an email and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this." I said, I didn't want to do it behind your back, and I know the publisher seems to be out of business, so I don't think they would have a problem with it, And I said, it'd be nice to have it. It was such a disappointing experience, working with the publisher and everything, that it'd be nice to get something out of it. Yeah. So we'll see.
Something you can hold in your hand.
Yeah.
Hey, good idea.
Hey,
trying to convince me to let him write it.
Well, all I want to do is you know the exact story. You lettered it. I mean, you can't get this kind of removal that I would have, never having read it.
That's true.
I could look at it and say, okay, I'm going to do something wacky with what I'm seeing here in the sequences, and just maybe be able to make a story that would surprise you in a way that you just couldn't surprise yourself.
I would be glad to help you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We want
no charge.
That's exactly what we were rolling into.
For fun.
And Scott could mix and match our takes on it.
What Mario would come up with. It would be amazing.
I don't know. Maybe. Could be. Yeah, I know. You're working with the,
Anyway, we'll see what he says, and I'm not, just because he likes it or doesn't like it doesn't mean I'm beholden to what,
Scott, if you wanted me to end the stream right now, I could, and then we can have our offline talk where me and Mario talk about stuff, and you can leave anytime you want to. How about that? If we're done,
that would be good.
We're going to end the show right now, everybody. Thanks for coming in. That sees this eventually. People show up and watch these things every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ending the stream. There it went.